couple years ago, I had a camper, just a regular pull-behind camper. It was a regular piece of crap like everybody else has that leaks and they don't use. And this older gentleman drove by the house one day and said, "Hey man, you want to get rid of that camper?" And I was like, "Heck yeah, I'd love to get rid of this camper." He said, "Well, I don't have any money." I was like, "Well, what are you talking about?" He said, "Well, I will trade you another camper for this camper." I'm like, "That doesn't make sense." He said, "It's a motorhome." I was like, "Oh, okay, well, does it run?" He says, "Yeah, it runs." I said, "Well," and I said, "Well, I'm really not interested. We don't camp." He said, "Well, it's a GMC motorhome," and he gave me a picture of one. And I said, "Nah, I'm not interested." But then he left me his number. He lived in a chicken house in a camper, not this camper, but in a camper. And he didn't have a phone, barely had electricity. And so it was tough to get in touch with him. But once I found out what this camper was, you know, how unique it is and how kind of special it is, I was like, yeah, what the heck. So I called him up. Finally, it took about a week for me to get in touch with him. And I told him, I said, "Well, if you can get it to the house, I'll trade you." So I came home from work one day. The RV was in the yard and the camper was not. So he got it here and it was running. It's the 77 GMC Kingsley. It's in terrible shape. The water leaked on the inside from the water lines. The motor smoked like a smokestack, and it ran. The airbags need to be replaced. The tires need to be replaced. Everything needs to be replaced. But I figured I could just fool with that and maybe put some money into it, and at the end of the day I would have something pretty cool. So what I'm going to start with is with some of these videos is showing you some of my progress. I've got lots of videos with lots of stuff that I've torn up and torn out, but nothing I've really rebuilt yet. I'm at a point now where I really want to start rebuilding it. So the first thing that really needs to happen is it needs to run, because if it can't run, then what's the point of having it? So we're going to take you through the process of pulling the motor. The GMC Co-op has a document on there about pulling the motor out. I've done some of the work and I've got it on video, so bit by bit I'll be adding things. Pretty boring stuff, but you know, it is what it is. I'm really documenting this so that I can have a way for me to go back and see what went where, and that way I don't screw it up any worse than I probably already will. Anyway, enjoy. Alright, so we're lucky enough to have good weather, and I'm lucky enough to have plenty of sunshine now that the days have gotten longer. So me and the boys have been working on the camper, getting it jacked up, and we're going to start getting it ready to take the motor out. So with that, here's where we are. Okay, as you can see, camper's on a little bit of a grade. So in order for us to level it up, we have two different sizes. 6x6s that we blocked off and shimmed up under the bottom to make sure that they are level. And I also got two 6-ton jack stands up under it to keep it from swaying. That one over there is it's kind of in the front. I'd rather it be a little bit further in the back, but because of the way that the grade is, I can't get it up under there without digging massive holes. And I got this one over here under the frame behind the front wheel, so it ought to keep it from falling over. So we're able to get this tire off, and that's where my jack stand is. Next goal is to pull these fender wells out and get to the motor that way. These two lugs are giving me a little problem. They are spinning the stud, so I'm gonna have to cut those off, which I'll be videoing that, and hopefully it'll be seamless, but it won't be because it's me. Alright, so I'm here for the removal of these studs. I already got one off. I tried a couple techniques, none of them really worked, so went straight to the angle grinder, just cutting them right off. And the first one came off, so now we're going to get the second one, just show you kind of how I'm doing it. That's it. Second one's a little bit cleaner than the first one, but you know, it is what it is. So there's just a series of bolts right here, and there's one up in here. So you just take those out and the shroud will pull right out. You'll see that you can see inside the engine quite well from right here. So we should be able to get to everything that we need. I mean, there's the air filter and the fuel right there. And so all it'll take is following some instructions and a little work, and I think we can get this. Alright, so now that we've gotten inside the engine compartment, the next video will have me actually taking some of the components off, spark plugs, manifolds, carburetor, that type of stuff. And it'll be a process, and it'll probably take me a couple months, but I'm willing to go through it, and I'm just going to put this stuff out here, and if I ever need to go back to look at to see how I did something, it'll be out there on YouTube. Thank you.